So normally I would do a set of 15, two sets of 15 for my hamstrings, and that's the first thing I do on all of my leg days. It's mainly to get blood pumping in my hamstrings. If you've never just warmed up with your hamstrings first before squats, I suggest you give it a go. It really helps if your antagonist muscles have blood pumping through them when you do your primary exercises, so give that a try. Obviously, this is not two sets of 15. This is one of my top sets of another day, but that's what I'll normally do for my leg days. I'll start with a hamstring curl. So the next thing I'll do are these clamshells. You can do them banded, or you can do the abductor machine. A lot of times we tell guys to do the yes/no machine, mainly the adductors, the inner thigh. But if you don't want that Kevin Gates look, you know what I'm talking about, that knock-knee look, then I highly suggest doing clamshells, working your abductors. So for abduction, moving the legs away from the body; adduction, moving the legs inward to the body. That way when you're looking at the machines, you know which one I'm talking about. But if you do this, it'll be really great for your hip health, so don't forget this exercise. So if you have really healthy hips, this movement isn't necessarily a concern. For me, I've had a history of injuries. I have bad hips from athletics and all sorts of things, but you're pretty much going to do this motion both sides. That back foot, you want to move that inward just a little bit, and this will help open up your hips and make it easier for your squats, because sometimes it's just hard to, like it feels tight right on the inside. Maybe you sit for a living or something like that. So this movement really helps. The next thing I'll do will be some air squats. I'll do a set of 100. I can break them in, 25s or 50s, or just do 100 straight, depending on what kind of energy I'm showing up in the morning with. But, I mean, honestly, you could not do any of the things and just do, like, body squats and some wide lunges, and that'll be a perfect warm-up. But I like to add the body squats on top of everything else I do. After every leg day, there's always the foam rolling cool down first before I stretch. You're going to do 30 seconds each sore or tender muscle group. If it's, got a lot of blood pumped into it, you did a lot of work on it, then you're going to spend 30 seconds rolling it out. The reason why is because after 30 seconds, your muscles automatically relax on a stretch or a foam roll. So essentially what happens is that your muscles kind of tension up, and they'll hold that tension a little bit for about 30 seconds before they relax. So it's really important to stretch and foam roll 30 seconds at the minimum. It's important that my stretching routines are never too overcomplicated. I just do the basic things. So when it comes to my leg days, quad stretches, hamstring stretches, 30 seconds each side. That's a really important aspect. And I mainly do stretches to loosen up my hips after a leg day. Like I said, I have a history of sports injuries, a car accident, all sorts of things. So my hips being loose is a big must for me. So, movements like these, getting in the deep lunge and working out that extension and really stretching my hip, it really helps out. Feels really, really good. And then I always finish it off with this TFL stretch. Again, if you sit a lot, then you know how good this stretch feels. If you commute a lot, then this right here is it's like heaven when you get out of the car. And then, of course, I finish out my day making sure that my mobility is good. I do this just as a mobility check and make sure my hips feel great. If they still feel tight, then I keep stretching, and that's it.